I want to make one thing very clear before we start this interview. We did not plan the matching yellow shorts.
I have the screenshots. He told me to wear yellow.
So we're sitting here like in your living room, but I guess like this probably doesn't feel like home to you, or it kind of
Not
does.
quite. Yeah, I just got the couch in here actually like a couple days ago. I've only stayed at this house once, so it's getting there. You know, we're close to moving everything over and slowly calling it home. So it's getting there.
Are you like the kind of person that as you're preparing for a fight, it matters? Like I think about somebody like Muhammad Ali in Deer Lake and like Fedor with his place in Russia and the woods and everything. Like, do you need to be in a certain frame of mind, or could you train for a fight anywhere?
I mean, as far as the location and environment, it's all out of camp, in camp's all the same. But mentally, definitely, it's different. Going in, being in camp, there's the level of. I try to live a very disciplined life outside of camp, as far as my sleep, what I eat, and making practice. I try to keep that very disciplined. But in camp, it's just next level discipline. So, yeah, as far as location, everything's very similar as far as where I'm training, but mentally it's different.
You seem to pick these places, like you said earlier when we were walking around here, like peaceful. Like,
Yeah.
Why do you think that that's where you kind of thrive when you're away from the cage?
I think peace is kind of what everybody's searching for. And out here it's a lot more peaceful. Big, huge trees. There's an Air Force base not too far, so there's a little disruption there, but it's not too bad. It's kind of cool watching them do their maneuvers and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty peaceful out here. I think I go out there, knock Aljo out. A lot more opportunities come, a lot more craziness comes with it, with the lifestyle. So being able to just have that peace out here is super important for me to stay disciplined, stay on the grind. Because win or lose this fight, I want to fight again this year. I want to fight, minimum 2 times a year. I want to stay on the grind, stay fighting, stay active, and continue to grow the Sugar brand and leave something in this sport, like do something really cool.
Yeah, I feel like I've been talking to you like since you came into the UFC about how if everything goes how you want it to go, and you were making grand proclamations from the very beginning that like that's going to be a challenge, man. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be, the world is kind of looking at you all the time. So I almost feel like every time I check in with you before a fight, like I get an update on that. Like how has that been?
It comes down to discipline. It always comes down to discipline. Like I could be crazy. I feel like I'm a crazy person. I could, I like to go have fun, do crazy things, but constantly have to remind myself, like I'm only going to be this age for so long. Like I only got so many years in this sport. I have to keep my head down and keep training, keep getting better, keep losing in the gym to get better. And it's kind of a rough lifestyle. I mean, you're sore every day, every week. You're sore. Like today's Thursday, so I've trained hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday already. Thursday I'm run down a little bit, but that's every week. That's outside of camp. That's in camp. So, but yeah, just keeping myself in the grind is the most important thing for me.
Do you feel like you even know? Like, can a human even like predict how it's going to feel? Like, let's say you continue on this rocket ship that you've been on. At some point, if there's enough money in the bank and there's enough wins in the column, that like that desire to be sore every day is just, it wanes. Like it's just human nature to not want that anymore. Like, do you feel like you even know the answer to that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a good question. It's hard to answer that. You never know. I feel like I have enough money and assets right now that I don't have to ever fight again, which is it's a cool feeling. I never really felt like that going into a fight. Like I don't have to make this money to be secure. So it's a little different already, but not in a negative way at all. So I don't feel that yet. I don't feel like, well, I don't really have to be sore. I want to go out there and perform. I want to go out there and fight. I don't feel that yet. Maybe, look at Connor. Who knows if he did or didn't? It's hard you can only guess what people are actually thinking. So, I go out there, knock Aljo out, knock out the next guy. Massive superstar. Mm-hmm. You never know. But I'd like to think that I want to, I feel like I'm going to stay on the grind until my body can't really handle it anymore. 35, 36 years old. I've wanted to, since I was 16, when I started training, it's like I want to fight until I can. I want to make sure I put in as much work as I possibly can to when I'm done, I'm okay being done. But it's a scary thought. I mean, people retire and be like, damn, they're never gonna do that again. It's a scary thought for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You wrote, I think it was on Twitter, like kind of a funny thing where like you basically said you're going to do everything that Connor's doing, like, oh, you guys will see me on yachts and parties and this and that, you know, and then you're like, oh, just kidding. But do you think if maybe you weren't seeking this like kind of peace away from camp, that you would be living in like more kind of like a penthouse downtown or like some fancy mansion? I mean, like this place is nice, but it's not like luxurious.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like do you kind of stay away from the luxury part of it, or?
I mean, I could, if I lived downtown, it would just not be good. I need to live away from everything. Closer to the gym, the better for me. Just stay in it. I enjoy this lifestyle, grinding and doing the work. I enjoy that. But yeah, living downtown would not be good. Just chasing chicks and chasing that next, like going to the club. Like that's all fun and stuff. But you know, you wake up the next morning, you're like, I didn't. You know, you go and train real hard. You wake up the next morning, you're sore. It feels a lot better than being hungover or something. So it's like not hard for me to stay away from that. But it's always kind of like there. It's like you could be doing a completely. You've made enough money. You're young. You can go and do whatever you want. But what I do truly want is to train and win fights.
Mm-hmm. And why? Why do you like? Is it for the legacy? Is it for like the self-evaluation of like I'm the best? Like why do you think? Like what's driving you at this point?
Performing, just the addiction to performing. Just going out there, making that walk and making magic happen. Doing. You know, like this fight, especially going into my last fight with Peter Yan, that was like, damn, that's a scary dude. Peter Yan's a fucking killer, this Russian killer. Like that was the first time I was like, kind of, I wouldn't say scared, but like I was like, oh shit, this dude's a fucking tough fight. I have that same feeling going into this fight. Aljamain Sterling's the best bantamweight the UFC's ever known. He's in his prime. He's 33, I think, somewhere around there. That's pretty much prime age right now. All the male UFC champions are in their 30s. He's the best grappler in the division. I'm a striker. This is a striker versus grappler matchup. So it's exciting. It gets me excited. I want to go out there and prove people wrong. The last fight, everyone thought I was going to lose that fight. And then when I won the fight, it just made people so mad. I like that. For whatever reason, I like that. So for me to go out there and be a huge underdog again against Aljamain, you know, it's a weird addiction.
Which fight were they counting you out more? In this one or the previous one against Yan?
Probably this one. I'd say this one. I mean, Aljamain beat Peter their last fight. You know, I looked at the Peter fight. I'm like, I made a mistake in the Peter. I did not expect him to wrestle or shoot at all. I trained grappling all the time, like in camp we grappling. But for like this fight, main focus, you know, we know he's gonna shoot, so we gotta have a game plan around that. Whereas the Peter fight was like more of a kickboxing camp. So yeah, this fight for sure. I mean, his style versus wrestler versus grapplers. You know, most people pick the wrestlers, so this fight for sure.
How does it feel to go in against the guy that you're expecting to try to grapple you the whole time?
It feels, you know, I did say against Peter, I wasn't expecting that. For the most part, I am usually, like that's usually the game plan is come in and try to take me down. I've fought a lot of strikers, but I always know that they're going to turn into wrestlers. The Peter one, I was surprised. I didn't think I was going to turn him into a wrestler that fast. But yeah, it's kind of what we've been planning for since I, got to the lab. Since I moved to Arizona, I was like, okay, I'm a striker. People are gonna want to take me down. Like that's just been the game plan for a long time. So it literally just feels like another fight. He's just the best at it. Mm-hmm. So it's like a fun challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you keep referring to yourself as a striker. Are you a grappler too? Like, will we at some point watch a fight and be like, oh, dang, Sean O'Malley's a grappler? Will we ever say that?
I mean, I'd like to think of myself as a good grappler. I've definitely trained with really, really good guys. But I like knocking people out. The only time I'd probably go in there and like try to wrestle is if I'm getting pieced up like Peter was and try to, turn into a little wrestler. I definitely can wrestle. I definitely can grapple. But I'll always think of myself as a striker. The way I knock people out, I find people's chin. I'll probably always kind of consider myself a striker, but I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded.
What does he do that's so different? Or does he do anything different, or is he just really good at what everybody else does?
I think he's really good at what he does. He's awkward. He kind of throws punches to set up shots, and I think he's just really, really strong. Like you look at him, he looks physically strong. I've had teammates fight him, and they're like, yeah, he's strong. Mm-hmm. He's got long arms. I talked to Henry's coach on the plane back once, or from that last fight, Henry Aljo, and Henry said he's just like he's like awkwardly long and strong. So that I think he's really he's a black belt. He's a very high level. He trains with really good guys. His coaches are really good. He's just well rounded. He's been in the UFC for a long time too.
Does the fight really come down to just if you're on your feet or not? I mean, is it really? Can you describe it as simple as that?
If I keep 100%, if I keep this fight standing, I win. I'm gonna beat him in a striking fight, grappling. He's just he's that good. I got to be able to survive on the ground, get to the next round. Like, I'm not underestimating I know how good he is. It's not whether he can do it or not. He can do it. We've seen him. He choked out Corey in like 6 seconds. He's like, he's that good. So yeah, I do believe it is a matter of me not letting him grab me.
Does that mean once he gets you to the ground, like you phrased it there, just like that, survive until the next round? Does that mean that you are not like, obviously I think if you see an opportunity to get up, you will get up, but it's almost like he uses those situations to get guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at taking people's back, the backpack dude. So yeah, I mean, you risk getting up, giving up your back. There's ways to get up without giving up your back, but I'm going in this fight life or death. Do not let him grab me. That's that's my mindset going into this fight. Do not let him grab me. He's gonna make a mistake. Neither of us can really afford to make a mistake. He makes too many mistakes on his feet. I will find his chin. He's cutting a lot of weight. There's no secret. He's always cut a lot of weight. He's just a big guy. He probably walks around at 165, 170. I walk around 155. Like, he's naturally a bigger guy, so he's gonna have to cut more weight. And I know that's gonna affect his chin. I find people's chins. I knock a lot of people out in the first round, or at least drop them in the first round. I dropped Eddie Wineland in the first round, Jose Quinones in the first round, Thomas Almeida, dropped Chris Moutinho in the first. I drop people. I find their chins pretty fast. So it's a matter of who's going to make the mistake first.
How do you think the UFC feels about this fight? Like, when they talk about it in their war room, what do you think they're saying about it?
Yeah, I think they're finally excited for a bantamweight championship fight. Not that Henry versus Aljo wasn't exciting. It was there. It was up there. Aljo versus TJ. It was up there. But I think I'd just bring a level of excitement to the division that's not really been there before. So I think Dana's excited. It's in Boston. I know Hunter's excited. I know the UFC is very excited. The fans are very excited. So I think it's just a different level. It's a big fight.
Aljamain, I talked to him like a week ago, and he's like, I just keep ruining their plans. I mean, their plan was, honestly, I've already ruined their plan, because their plan was for Henry to take me out and then for Sean to fight this short guy in Henry that he had a lot of confidence against. I'm a terrible matchup for Sean. Do you feel like he's right, that he's screwed up some plans, that the UFC, if they could have written this out, they wouldn't have written it exactly this way?
I don't know what the UFC is a business. They're doing their own thing. I don't necessarily know exactly what they're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, I think Henry's he's a short wrestler. I think he's a better matchup for me. I was going for Henry. I wanted Henry to win. I've made that very clear. Aljo is, you pick out who's the toughest fight in the division. For me, it's Aljamain Sterling. You pick out the toughest guy in the division for pretty much anybody in the division. Aljamain's the toughest opponent. He's the best bantamweight the UFC's ever had. He's in his prime. He's good. There's no way around it, and that's what's exciting. This is the challenge. It's a very difficult puzzle. I'm gonna have to come very, very focused for this fight. I can't afford to make mistakes in this fight.
Have you ever gone through a fight without making a mistake, do you feel like? Have you fought a perfect fight?
Micro mistakes, like little mistakes. It's hard to, what a mistake. I mean, there's, the Holly and Paiva fight, nothing really, well, I fractured my thumb bouncing it off his head. I don't know if you'd call that a mistake, knocked him out the first round. Yeah, there's been fights where I didn't really make any mistakes, I didn't even get touched. Those are against guys that aren't as, Aljamain's a different level than these guys. So am I capable of going in there, knocking him out, not making a mistake, him making the mistake first and putting him out? 100%. I've knocked out so many people that you can't say that's not a percent. Like, that's not possible. It's very possible. When those lights are on, my feet are on the canvas, in that octagon, the big cage, not the small one. We're in the big cage. I'm capable of doing anything.
Do you think he's like that? Like his mental makeup when like the lights are really on and all the focus is on him? Like, what do you see in him in those big moments?
I mean, it's hard to say he doesn't go in there and perform. He's on a nice win streak right now. the only fight I can really think of. Obviously, the Marlon Moraes fight wasn't necessarily him not showing up. I think it was just wasn't an accident. It was Marlon threw a beautiful little switch kick, cracked him, knocked him out cold. The first fight with Peter Yan, he definitely didn't look good. I mean, he would even say that. I'm sure he's like, that wasn't a good performance by him. Yeah. So, I mean, you haven't really seen that out of me. The Cheeto fight happened. I was smoking him before that fight. That wasn't me not showing up. That was a freak accident. Pedro Munoz fight, I was about to knock him out until he quit, and then I show up. He semi shows up. So it's gonna be who shows up better that night.
Do you think there will be an opportunity though to like maybe see some level of discomfort or uncomfortability on his face of like, hey, maybe the takedowns aren't coming? Like, how do you think he's going to respond to some of those moments? Like the kind of mental battle within the fight. Like, how do you think that's going to go?
This is a very, very physical, intense game of chess. So it's, there's 5 rounds, 25 minutes. It might take him a little bit longer to frustrate him, not grab me, not get a hold of me, not be able to take me down. Crack him with a hard shot, make him start questioning things. That weight cut, I keep bringing it up. It's got to play a role. I know it's going to play a role. My weight cuts aren't fun. They're not easy. And I know his are probably twice as hard. Mm-hmm. And I know that messes with him. Even today, right now, sitting here, I'm not hungry. I'm not feeling like I need. He's got to be, if he's as big as he always claims he is, we don't really know. You can say anything you want. But if he's that big, he's gonna have to cut weight. He's gonna struggle. I mean, the last weight cut, he got on the scale. He said that one was hard. They're all hard, but it's gonna play with him. It's gonna play a role. And you cut that much weight, you dehydrate yourself that much, you lose a little brain fluid. And I keep coming back to it, but I find people's chins. Who in the UFC's dropped Peter Yan? Who in the UFC's cracked Peter hard? I don't think anyone has. I dropped him. I rocked him and then dropped him. He did crack me back beautifully. Didn't drop me though. He took me down, but I found Peter's chin, and that's hard to do. He's really, really good. And that was with the left hand. I rocked him, dropped him with the right hand. I have so many weapons that I believe I'm a dangerous fight for Aljo too. Mm-hmm. So, it's exciting. August 19th, we get to see what happens.
Do you have the championship hairstyle picked out?
Yeah, I think Danny, the Sunday before we'll leave Monday, is Danny and one of her friends are gonna do my hair. Still don't really know exactly. I think she kind of has an idea of what she wants to do, but I just sit there, uncomfortable for hours while they do it. So, but yeah, I think they have an idea of what the hair is gonna be.
What about the merch? Is it this pink one, or is it?
Yeah, the pink and gold. We dropped the pink and gold. So I already had all the merch designs and ready to go and everything, the jerseys, before I knew it was in Boston. So if I would have known it was in Boston, we might have went with a little different color. But pink's kind of always been my color for the Sugar brand, and then gold. Obviously, we're fighting for the belt. So the pink and gold drop is definitely it's been doing really well. I'm excited about it. Loved how the jerseys and the whole kit turned out. But yeah, so that's what we're rocking with.
The face-off that you guys had in Newark, and then everything that happened there. I think it was Connor who said that when they had that big world tour with Aldo, that like, oh man, it just sends you into training camp like on a jolt of adrenaline because you just squared off with a guy in front of the crowd. Like, did you feel that? And then when you were facing off with him, did you feel like ready to fight, or did it almost feel like a theatrical performance a little bit? Like, what did that whole thing feel like, and then what did you take from it after that?
I knew I was going to square up with him in the cage, but you get in the octagon. Every time I've been in the octagon, I got in a fight, so you kind of get that little rush, like, all right, just in case, you never know. His whole team's in there, and like, you never know. I don't not like Aljamain. I think he's a fine dude, he's whatever, but I definitely don't not like him, so I wouldn't, I didn't plan on going in there and scrapping with him. It just that just happened naturally, like, yelling at each other, and it's a fight. We're trying to kill each other in there, so it's emotional. It's exciting. I
hear this phrase in other sports sometimes where like you can't take it past 100. Like you turn something up to 100%, it's 100%, and like we say like, oh, you can go up to like 110. Like, no, you can't. Like when you turn it up to 100, it's 100. But like when you walk out in Boston for a title fight, like will that feel beyond what you felt before, or do you think it'll be a very familiar feeling?
When I'm walking out, I'm very calm. I think you see that in every single fight I've walked out. I'm very calm. That's where I perform best, is calm. So, yeah, I think I walk out, the feeling's going to be internally the same. Calm, You know, the hype is going to be insane. Like, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. The Sugar Show's walking out for a title fight in Boston, August 9th. It will be a crazy, you'll feel it through the TV. You'll watch it. You'll hear my song. You'll be like, oh, this is a big one. But internally, I will be calm. And, you know, that's a mistake Corey made and he said it too against Aljo, he was too calm. Like, Aljo's going to come and sprint at me and try to grab a hold of me because he knows the dangers of not grabbing me. He knows he's going to get knocked out. So, you know, I have to be very calm, but I have to be ready to kill.
Yeah, I mean, he said, the way he phrased it is, you can't even touch the black line. Like that black line in the octagon, you can't even touch that one. Because once you touch that one, then there's only so much space between that and the cage. Like, this is like a fight for like every inch, it feels like. This
Yeah,
fight.
absolutely. I mean, Aljamain's lucky there's a cage. Without a cage, if we're fighting on a football field, I knock him out every time. He's lucky there's a cage. That's what his game plan. I mean, there's no secret in each other's game plans. Yeah.
And you literally put yourself in the mind frame in the locker room of like we're fighting to the death. Like that goes through.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're in the back, you have to. It's a weird. I mean, saying it when you're not in the back feels weird. Like, what? I'm not gonna think like that. But when you're back there, and you're walking out, this is exactly how you feel. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. You don't really feel that going. You don't really feel that like in sparring. You don't feel that. You know. But in a fight, you definitely feel that. You feel like it's kill or be killed.
You think everybody's like that? Every fighter that goes there has that?
I think the elite, the top guys feel like that. Yeah, for sure.
You like that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's keep doing it. You know, you keep coming back to it. It's part of the game. It's part of the. You know, I like fighting. I like performing. So you got to deal with those emotions too. I feel like I've gotten very good at dealing with those emotions and following my breath and being calm. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling.
You knock him out, how would you guess that you're gonna react to that?
It's hard to say. It's hard to put yourself in that kind of scenario in Boston. You know, knocking out the greatest bantamweight of all time. It's hard to guess how you react. It's just I'll react however, whatever, you know, who knows? But if it's in the 4th round, 5th round, I might be so tired, boom, knock him out. Might just be like, whew, it's over. 1st round, boom, knock him out. Still have some energy, run around. I don't know. We'll see. We get to see August 19th how I react after I knock him out.
Do you feel different every time you knock somebody out? Like, is it like a completely new experience every time, or is it similar?
Yeah, it's always pretty similar. Aljo would be the best guy that I've knocked out, so I think that'll definitely be extra. There'll be a little extra excitement on that one for sure. You know, for the belt, the best bantamweight of all time, and I knock him out. That's gonna feel different than any knockout for sure, 100%.
Does the word like champion come into your mind? Does it mean anything to you?
I feel like I've lived a champion lifestyle for quite a bit of years, for a long time, as far as eating right, being in the gym consistently, recovery-wise, you know, prioritizing sleep. I feel like I've lived like a champion for a long time, and I think that's what it's about, just living like a champion. As far as being the champ, having the belt, yeah, that'll be cool. That means more money, more bigger brand deals, more stuff like that. But as far as just being a champion mentally, I've been that for a while.
Yeah. You told me before the Jan fight that like after this fight, like it's been steadily increasing. Then I feel like it's going to be a rocket ship, and I'm going to ride it for a while. What happens if and when you knock out Aljamain in the main event in Boston?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. You know, all goes well. I'm back in Vegas defending the belt. In Vegas, that I want to stay. I don't want to get the belt and just kind of wait around. I want to get the belt, and I want to defend the belt. I don't really think you're a champion until you defend the belt. So, going out there, getting the job done, back to work. I want to, you know, take advantage of my name being out there. You know, take advantage of all that stuff. Do the rounds, but gotta get back to work.